Right, welcome back, guys. Apologies for that. I don't know what the problem is. Everything else works on it, but suddenly now it doesn't want to detect VP4. We are here for Friday Night 9 Ball, I can assure you. And the matches are up. We've got another full tournament this week. We've got all the rooms up. LS3 against Christian, Larry against Brave Out, Mr. Bill against Slim. Stubb against John Boo, Sylvie against Polka Bouta, Stefan against Bankster, DJ Redo against Spectre Dawn, and Wink at Me against Ice Age. I'm trying to remember how to work this dumb thing. Right, so we'll have a look at the cribbage bracket in a minute. Just give me another second to change this, hang on. And then we'll be in. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get into the match first. We'll get and watch the Bill and Slim match. I'll get myself organised in a second, just bear with me. And I'll change the cloth colour. These last minute hitches and glitches that do my head in. Right, we'll fix this in a sec. Right. I think we're almost good to go. Two seconds. Right, let's check my little doodle's working. So we're back on Gamecaster. XSplit Broadcasters had a funny turn. Inexplainable, I don't know why. It suddenly isn't detecting VP4. No reason why it shouldn't. But anyway, this is a scratch match. Round one match in this week's Friday Night 9 Ball between Bill and Slim. And they're just in the first rack, so while they're in that first rack, let's go to the calendar. And let's have a look at this cribbage tournament. Well, we got a full house in it, according to that. I don't know how. I think, did Steve set it to 16? I haven't a clue whether he did or he didn't, or whether he dropped it down to 16. Anyway, there's 16 in, and the bracket was drawn same time as Friday Night 9 Ball. We've got Albinario against Stubb. Oh, goodness me, what a first round match that is. We've got MC Clarkey against Slim. We've got Sylvie against Bankster. We've got Larry against Acero. There's a good match as well. Popman against Tommy. There's a good match. Cobra against Bedhead. There's another good match. Goodness me, I can't wait for these. We've got LS3 against Machine. Now, I don't know whether this guy's ever been in a tournament or whether he's somebody that's changed their name or whether he'll show up. And we've got Cheeky Chico against Ice Age, but we've got a stack of great matches lined up in this first round of this cribbage tourney. Go to the event. Quick reminder, it's double elimination, race to 15 on the winner's side, race to 13 on the one-loss side, and a final race to 19. So those matches are now live, and the players can get round to arranging their matches. So that's going to be well worth looking forward to some of those games. Right, now where the hell's the bracket for Friday Night 9 Ball? What the hell's happened here? Right. That's the warm-up one, we don't want that. Right, we're now good to go. I'll set that clock to 30 seconds. Right, so let's concentrate the matches. Welcome everybody, or anybody that's still here, that is. We're back on XSplit Gamecaster. Slim off the mark in the first rack. Slim going off the table, so Bill with ball in hand should be out. That looks a good enough angle. Just to stun across, or he can roll forward onto the rail and back out, whatever he prefers. I've got the lower camera on now rather than the high up camera. I don't know whether you prefer that. Again, the only real problem it does cause is in the garage or in hard times when it's actually snooker that I'm looking at. That's the only time it causes a problem with the lamps above the table. So we're on the lower angle view. And I don't have to look at my second monitor for the chat because it appears right on the screen, which is actually more handy for me. But obviously with XSplit Broadcaster, you have all the bells and whistles with it, which you don't get with Gamecaster. This is just a much more, well, because mine is the old version, it's a much more simplified way of streaming. And this is much better than the new version of XSplit Gamecaster. It's XSplit Gamecaster has gone towards Broadcaster, and why there's still two versions of it, I don't know. I think that's probably why they now give it free. So if you ever want to start streaming, you can download XSplit Gamecaster. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and there's no restrictions on it. You can do whatever you want with it, but above all, you can experiment with it. I've tried it, I don't like it. I still prefer Broadcaster as far as that goes, but I only prefer Broadcaster when it works. And tonight it's just gone funny, I don't know why. So, well, the obvious thing is 4, 5 and 6 are all there. Now, does 7 squeeze past 8? Yes, it does. And now Slim's got himself in a little bit of trouble. Welcome to Semi-Pro. And Ice Age either hasn't shown up or he's fallen asleep. But Wink at Me's through by forfeit straight away. And Slim goes into the lead. I was watching. I posted a link in the lobby earlier on this afternoon. I was watching some lightning videos on YouTube this afternoon. You know, people filming storms and they're standing, you know, maybe at their front window or in the doorway, and all of a sudden there's a big crack of lightning right in front of them. And I was watching. There was one. In fact, there was a couple, but there was one where it was obviously a security camera looking down a street, and the cars are going along the street, and then this car's coming along. Next thing you know, boom, big flash of lightning right on the roof of the car, and the next thing you know, there's smoke coming out of the car, and the people are bailing out. And I was always under the impression that one of the safest places to be was either in a plane or in a car, because the lightning goes round the outer shell, you know, around the skin of the plane or the car, and straight out through the tyres. And in this case, I don't know what the hell it did to the car, but these people, all the people in the street were all crowding round it. The smoke was belching out the car. Oh, it was funny. It wouldn't be funny if you were in the car when that happened. So Slim, looking to build up a little lead. Good evening to Cobra. Well, some cracking matches in that cribbage tournament, by the way. I've just had a look at the bracket, and it is mouth-watering to say the least. There's about 4 or 5 first-round matches that I simply don't want to miss. And the top one is the one I want to see. We'll have another look at the cribbage bracket in a little while, just for any latecomers. I mean, you can obviously go and look at it yourself, but we could look at it together. And that's the one thing I never noticed in the sign-ups, what the limit was for sign-ups. I don't know whether he had it at 32, but it's now got 16 in it anyway. So it's effectively a full house. So Slim with a 3-1 lead. May well be looking to play the little combo here. This might go wrong. Oh. Well, that's handy where the 1 ball's ended up. And he's got a fairly straightforward combo 4-5 ball sitting right next to the cue ball. He just needs to get through and on this 3 ball. Well, he's tried to hold it. I don't know whether he didn't fancy rolling through, whether he was running towards the 9 and 6, but he's got himself hooked. And this cue ball may well go at the rail and come back this way. And it has. Should still get this, no problem. I think the voice is going already. Here we go. XSplit broadcaster's gone funny. The voice has started already. Well, the little double kiss hasn't really done him any harm. Although he may well have to go up past the 6 ball and back into the table. In fact, I don't know whether he wants to try and go inside and out. He could do it with some English, but we'll see if he just tries to go down the left side. He's missed it, and he's now got a shot. Oh well, Slim hangs the 6 ball. Bill has a lifeline to get back into this match. That will do nicely. Straight in 9 ball. Not a problem. Now he needs a break to work for him to really capitalise on Slim's mistake. And the 3 ball goes, and the 1 ball is on, and this is going to be a quick rack to tie the match up because we've got a 2-9 combo sat there. This rack's all over. He's going to have to just play it from that side. I don't know whether he wants to try and do an awful lot with the cue ball yet. That'll do it. So that's a bonus for Bill. Quick reply, a quick 2 frames, and we're all square. You see the way that 8 ball hit the rail and then went straight off in a 45-degree tangent there. The break is dry, and Slim has the cut into the side. I don't know whether he's trying to take it up table. It looks as if he is. Try and brush through off the 3. He needs to brush through as far as he dare, but he's forgot to pot the 1. Well, that's a great start to the tournament, isn't it? We've got Spectre Dawn winning by forfeit against EJ Redo, and Winkett Me's already won against Ice Age, so it's going really well in the first 2 matches, or the first 2 results, I should say. Well, this is going to be hampered, I think, is it? No, he's okay, I think. Plenty of space to get on this 5, but needs a little angle again just to get the cue ball out. Drop it down below the 6 ball, take it into the side. Probably the side pocket. That'll do it. The XSplit Gamecaster that I'm using, this must be about probably 3 or 4 versions ago to where they've got to now with XSplit Gamecaster. I mean, the one I use, you just would not recognise it compared to the version that's available now. And that's when they started, or when they decided to basically give away Gamecaster free to encourage people to start streaming. So you've got no excuse. If you've got any interest in starting to stream, you've obviously got OBS out there, which is free, but you've also got Gamecaster, which is totally free. Well, that's a good break. Lost a 3 ball. The 6 ball is gone. And this table is crying out to be run out. So Bill, from 3-1 down, looks as if he's going to build a 2-rack lead here. So the match is quickly turning in its head if Bill can take this out. Lots of draw on that to avoid the scratch. And a nice little kiss on the 7 ball as well, just to bring it off the rail. Not that he meant to, but it came in handy. Now this is just crept into the table a wee bit more than ideal. And the pace looks pretty good on that one for the 9. So it's Bill getting into a 2-rack lead. Can Slim retaliate? Can he respond? Do you guys prefer this lower angle? Regardless of the light situation, although it's not a problem with a 9-ball table, the lights aren't a problem, but it's a question of whether you prefer looking at it at this angle or whether you prefer looking at the table at a higher angle. That's if anybody's still there, that is. So Bill with the 2-rack lead, and he's in again. Bailing out with the jump stick, Old Faithful. Now, quick look at this 5-ball. Plenty of room past the 8, not a problem there. Wants the right angle though. Again, it's angles, angles, angles. He's just gone a wee bit too far. He might, I don't know whether he wants to just drop this in dead weight, but he doesn't want to leave himself too straight to 6. Because he's got to go up for that 7, and that'll do. That's perfect. Well, it's going to be 5 in a row for Bill. Six ball goes in, 2 ball goes in. 1 ball is going to be a problem because he's hampered. I think he's okay. He looks as if he's going for the cut. He might well run back into the 4. Yeah, he has done. And well, but Slim's not going to turn this shot down on the 1 ball, but he just has to make sure that the cue ball tracks back up the table far enough so that he's not blocked out with that 9 ball. And that's fine. And this is an important one for Slim because he's at the point of no return. Got to take it out. That's not what you want. He's going dead straight. He might try and pinch a wee bit, and he's trying to help it with some left spin. Looks as if he's got there. Again, it just means he's got more work to do now to get onto this 7 ball now. He could try running it forward, but the danger there is running into that 8 ball. But I don't think he's got an awful lot of choice. I mean, he can try digging into this. He might run into the 9 though. Yeah, he has done. Well, he's left the bedhead cut from distance. Well, finally we've got an actual result come through. And Slim has missed his chance, and what's more, he hasn't left it safe. So Stubb has gone through against John Boo by 7 racks to 4. Where's the cue ball? Oh, he's ran in no man's land. And Slim might get a second life here. Oh, now is Bill getting a lucky roll? He most certainly has. And Slim Well, you think if he doesn't get this is game over. And I think this is maybe just a wee bit too close for comfort, this jump, in terms of the distance between the cue ball and the 8. But he's got it, that was well played. And he's getting a nice roll in the cue ball as well, although he's now sort of gone into that little in-between zone. Do you cut it in the side? I think cutting it in the side, it looks like the safer option to me. I mean, and I don't think, I don't like the track that the cue ball's taking if you're taking it up into the corner, so he's taking it into the side. And that keeps him alive in the match. Well, that's the two guys that forfeited the first matches, and so they're both, well, one of them's forfeited now in the one-loss side, so whoever gets to play them's probably going to get a bye. And meanwhile, Bill on the hill, needing one more. Slim came up dry on the break. And Bill's looking for a way to try and get away from this one ball. And that was, he didn't plan in the double kiss there. That's kept the cue ball in play. He was hoping to drop behind the 2. I mean, this one ball obviously goes down the rail, but I think it's pretty much stuck to the rail. Maybe give or take a millimetre or so. And Slim has left it on. There's another result through. Larry's beaten Brainful out 7 racks to 3. And this, there's enough angle in the one ball. Well, I thought Bill, let's have a look. Can he get through to that? Is he going to try and bank it? Yes, he is. I didn't think he could get enough of it there. I thought he was going to maybe try and get into a gap on the right-hand side of the table, although it wasn't a very big window to get onto that 2 ball. So I asked if any's watching the stream, if any's are still watching, whether you prefer this lower down camera view, but get no response whatsoever. Not a reply. With a little combo. Now, Bill's going to have to just chip this in off the rail, I think. So you preferred the lower down view? I'll go with the majority, whatever people prefer. Well, Bill's going to have to cut this 7 ball, get back across the right side of the table as we look at it, and leave the cut in the 8. He's going to have to go across twice and get across far enough, and this match should be over. So Bill is going to go through by 7 racks to 4. Slim's going to have to do the hard work very early on in this week's tourney. So Bill goes through. Slim moves over to the one lost side. Now, quick look and see where we stand. Obviously, that's the result that's just gone through. We've got Pool Kabouter. In fact, Sylvia's a no-show as well. I never saw that result coming through. What's the point in signing up to the tournament when 3 people have already forfeited matches? It's a bit pointless. I don't understand their logic. So anyway, Bill's to play Pool Kabouter, and Larry is waiting on the winner of Stefan and Bankster, and Bankster is 1 away from a result in that match. We've got LS3 and Christian, 5 racks all. Stubble ready through. Spectre Dawn is playing Wink at Me in round 2. We're going to go into that match. It's 3 racks to 1 already for Spectre Dawn, and it's a scratch match, no handicap. And it looks as if Wink at Me's got ball in hand. Or am I looking at this wrong? It says Phil, rail not hit. And I'm wondering if Wink at Me's paying attention here. Now, it looked very much likely to me that Wink at Me wasn't paying any attention and has missed a ball in hand opportunity there. That's what I could see on my screen. Hang on a minute, I'm going to go back into this room in case I'm out of sync. No, it's definitely 3 racks to 1. I don't know what the hell went on there. I thought that was Wink at Me at the table. Well, it's definitely going to be 4-1 to Spectre Dawn. It was strange. 9 ball goes in. 9 ball will be respotted. Spectre Dawn will stay at the table. And, well, he's got to probably drop this 2 ball in. He's got 2 choices. He can pot the 1, drop the 2 ball in and finish below the 3 ball so he can take it up to the top left hand corner. Or he can go back up into the middle of the table and try and play some sort of combo in the 3 and the 6. I think the easier option is just to drop behind it. Well, I don't know whether he should have tried that though. I don't know whether that was a good idea, because he's now got himself in trouble. He's hooked. There's a name I don't remember seeing before. Welcome to Sands. Well, that's a big mistake there by Spectre Dawn, because I don't know why he thought he had to go in and try and move the 3. I think it was just as easy to try and drop behind it. I don't know why. I mean, to me it looked as if he could pot the 2 and work the cue ball just in below the 3. Anywhere he's got a cut up the table. I don't know why he tried to get into it. He didn't need to. But Wink at Me has not taken advantage of it because he's got himself in bother on the 5. Trailing by 4 racks to 1. He really needed to take advantage of that mistake by Cobra. Well, he's dug himself out a hole there, and he's going to have to try some sort of miracle shot here because he's not got a line to get to the 6 ball. I mean, there's a very a very narrow window, I think. I think if he, well, he's not even looking at it. He's looking. I think he can go between the 9 and the 8 and get to the 6. Oh, that's a cracking shot. Oh, he's unlucky again. Well, he's just not getting a roll when he needs it. But that was a good recovery in terms of getting the pot done, but he's going to have to get really lucky now. Needs a good roll here. This might be it. Well, it's going to force Spectre Dawn to jump, and you would think that, 9.5 times out of 10 this is going in. Cue ball's heading in the sort of right direction to come back up the table for a cut on the 8 ball into the side with the look of it. Well, Spectre Dawn's got out of jail in this rack. Wink at Me just couldn't get a roll when he needed it. And it's going to be 5-1. Long way back now for Wink at Me. Well, something's flowing in, and he's got a shot in the 1. I think the 2 ball's the one that's gone. Yep, 2 balls gone, 1 ball is on, but loads of work to do to get a shot in the 3. Three ball obviously blocked by the 8. Oh, that's a cracking shot. That's unlucky. I mean, if he had just went past that knuckle, he was on the 3. And again, it's a lifeline that Wink at Me simply cannot afford to mess up here. And needs that little angle. And he has got it. Should be nicely on this 5. Well, LS3 has survived a bit of a scare against Christian. Final rack decider win there for LS3. And Wink at Me trying his best here to survive. Well, if anything, overhitting this 6 ball to the 7 wouldn't do any harm. You see, the problem there is he's just, well, he's got a slight angle, but I don't know whether he wants to try drawing this back. He is. Well, he's leaving the high cut again. So it's going to be up and down, and then nobody knows where the cue ball's finishing. Is he trying to hold this off? Yes, he is. I thought he would have went up and down, but he's fine. So now Wink at Me needs a good roll. He needs a ball and a shot. And maybe run this rack if he can. Try and get himself back in the game. Well, 2 ball eventually went in. It rattled until the 6 ball just helped it over the line. But once again, no luck with a shot in the 1. Well, he can skim the 1 and try and drop in behind the 5 and 9. If he doesn't get it tight enough, Spectre Dawn will just jump it. But that is a shot. He's trying to get there. That needs to go inside. And that will do. Well, Spectre Dawn still fancies jumping this by the look of it. Ideally, I wanted to be behind that 5. I think Spectre Dawn was hoping for something like a small miracle there. He was too close and actually ended up jumping over the one. So now the 5 ball is a bit of an issue as well as the 4. And Wink at Me deciding that he's going to try and go for the 3 fill, and he's made a good effort with that shot, because there is no way that Spectre Dawn can get to that 1 ball. No way at all. Now, the best policy here is maybe just to try and lock something up, but he's leaving himself vulnerable to the 3 fills. There's just absolutely no line whatsoever anywhere to get to that 3 ball. So now Wink at Me has ball in hand, and this is a risky shot. I mean, the 5 ball can be got to. You've got to play a good shot to get to the 5. Does he want to risk potting the 1 and then the 3 and trying to nudge the 9 out of the way and still have a shot in the 4? That's a risk. He could do it now and still hope that he gets lucky that he's still got a shot in the 4. But if he doesn't do it, well, he has done it, and there's complete bad luck. He should have been trying to nudge the 9 instead of the 5, and now he's totally dead in the water behind the 9. Got the hat, got a double kiss, and the 4 will cut, and well, I'm looking to see where this cue ball's going. Even if it ran into the 8 ball, he's still bound to have a shot in the 5, and he's missed it, and he's clean. So this is the one that will decide the rack, getting onto the 6. If he can get there, he's pretty much home and dry. And he's left a little angle just to get the cue ball out. Well, yeah, I know what you say, Cobra, but you saw the room that he had to get to that 5. The problem was how good he was going to be on the 4 before it. I think it was the 4 that was going to be there, and whether he could guarantee he could get down low enough to get to the cut angle in that 5. That no, tell a lie. It was the 4 was going up the table. He was hoping to still have a shot in the 4, but the angle that he had on the 4 was would have determined whether he could get out on the 5, and he didn't want to take that risk. He wanted to take somewhere he was guaranteed he was at least going to move something. It was unlucky he ended up behind the 9. But you live or die by those decisions. But you can't expect a bad roll like that, though. Yeah, he should have just stuck with the 3 foul option. At the end of the day, with ball in hand, he could have nailed him. But as it is, Spectre Dawn now 1 away. We've got another problem in this left side rail. Now, obviously here, this can be rectified fairly quickly, provided Wink at Me can get there. Well, I had Shooter's Pool long before it was released. And I tried to get them to change that view restriction thing, but they didn't listen, so I've never really been back since. That's a good bank now. Well, that's gone perfect as far as being able to cut the 5. And again, he needs a lucky roll here. He wants to just split this 7 and 8 and stay there for a shot in this 6. He doesn't want to. He wants this 7 and 8 to take the pace out the cue ball and stay there pretty much. And that'll do. That's worked out not too bad. Let's have a look at the 8. The 8's off the rail. So wink at me clinging on for survival here. And I think he's gone fairly straight in this 7. Let's have a look. Oh, that'll do as long as it's not dead straight. And that's dead straight. Now he's got another problem. Does he just come back past the middle pocket and leave the cut? I don't think he's got much of a choice here, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that's about as good as he could want to risk doing. Now, he's got to watch the pace on this and watch the cue ball. He's got to get the 9 ball to the pocket, but he's got to keep track of where this cue ball's going. And that's a good shot. And the cue ball was going to scratch, and that's why I had to worry about the pace, and then that was a good shot. And it keeps him in it, but it is a long way back. But he's got a ball. Where's the cue ball going though? One ball hanging over the side pocket, but the cue ball's at the wrong end of the table, I think. Let's have a look. No, there's no way he's getting that in, but I think he might risk trying to kick it in up and down. He's got to try kicking it up and down. 2 balls over the side pocket. Well, that was a horrible effort to try and kick that one in. I don't know what he had in mind there, but that wasn't it. I think he could have made a much better effort than that to get to the 1. And this might be his, or that might have been his last shot in the match. Now, let's be honest, I don't think Spectre Dawn have a lot of trouble. As long as he gets good on this 5, he should be home and dry. 6 down the rail, drop onto the 7, which is sort of behind the 9 ball or up back past the 9 ball, but as long as he's nice in the 6, he'll just stop the cue ball. Well, just stun it in, off the rail and back up. I think the problem is he's too close to the rail, so he's went around the corner and out. I think that was the problem with that shot, but that gets the job done. So again, he's pretty straight. But it's Spectre Dawn who's going to march on, and he wins by 7 racks to 3. Again, wink at me over to the 1 loss side. Right, let's catch up on what's happening here. So we've got Mr. Bill now playing Polka Bouter, who's getting what looks like the 6 ball. And Larry's 3 racks to 2 up on Bankster. Bankster getting the 7 ball. LS3 is 2 racks to 1 down against Stubb. LS3 getting the 7 ball. I think that is. And there's the match that we've just seen now. Quick look at the 1 loss side. Christian's playing John Boot. Brainful Out's playing Stefan. And then the rest of them are all waiting on results. So what we're going to do is jump in and catch this remainder of this match between LS3 and Stubb. And it's all square at the moment. And Stubb kicking and getting lucky. Now she's trying to bump this off the rail onto the 3. Yeah, she was trying a tricky little shot there, trying to bump that 1 to catch the 3 to drop the 3 in. But it hasn't worked out. Now what the hell's happened to Stubb? I think he's maybe gone. It looks like it. Don't see his cue. The clock's going. I think Stubb is gone. Oh no, he's back. So, the problem ball is the 6 ball. 6 ball is awkward to get to. And I don't know whether Stubb's going to try and get lucky and run into this 9 and 8 and I hope he leaves himself a shot, because if he doesn't, he's going to have to just leave him a big high cut in this 6 ball. Or a bank, one of the two. But then again, the cue ball, it's not going to be guaranteed he'll end up having a shot in a 7. He just has to rely on luck here, because he's going to be, well, I think he's banking this maybe, yeah, rather than playing the cut. Well, that's now given LS3 her opportunity to pinch this rack, but again a similar problem for LS3. Got to have some sort of angle in the 7, and this is, well, there is an angle there, but she only needs a 7. What am I talking about? I forgot about the handicap. So LS3 takes the lead. I think that's dry. I didn't hear anything go down, and Stubb left with no shot, so he'll be looking to probably push out. Now I wonder if Stubb's changed his camera settings or whether he's downloading porn or something, because there's a bit of a delay before his cues appear. It's not like, you know, this isn't something that Stubb normally does. Well, he's got the hit. How's his luck? Not too good. So LS3 has a great opportunity here. In fact, hang on a minute, I've just realised. Let me just change that. I normally have that up there so we can see the rest of the chat. That's better. Lucky break every time. So 3 ball, 4 ball, 5, 6, and then the 7. This doesn't look too difficult. What LS3 needs to make sure is that she's not running into the 6 when playing this 5. So she's going forward with inside left just to bring it back down this left side. And it's overhit slightly, but at least she's not running into the 6. Now again, if she wants to hold a line here, she's going to have to play this with right English to try and hold it. She's trying to hold it in the shorter side, but that leaves that's not bad. But I think she's got to go 3 rails, I think. I don't know what she's playing loads of right English now to check this to come this way. And that's well done. Could have went the 2 rails route, but the danger with that shot is the scratch. It would have been 2 or 3 rails. So now LS3 with a 2 rack lead. Stubb under a bit of pressure. LS3 hoping for a ball, but no joy, I don't think. And straight away, without any shadow of a doubt, Stubb will be going for the cut and hoping the cue ball goes through there. I don't know what the hell's going on here. This big delay is happening. Stubb could have some shredding music running on YouTube while he's playing this, and it's obviously affecting his bandwidth, one of the two. And there's a result through in the one-loss side. John Boo goes through 4 racks to 1 against Christian. Well, I've never seen this happen with Stubb. I've never seen this where there's a delay before his cue appears, so I don't know what he's up to. But he's pretty likely up to no good. Well, that wasn't a great shot either, but he had to make sure he wasn't blocking himself out by the 8 ball. And now he has to make sure he doesn't scratch or end up behind the 9. I think he's okay. I think he can just see enough of this. Oh, the yawning started. By the way, Cobra, what's the age bracket are you in? That's what I meant to ask you. Because have you ever seen Boys from the Black Stuff? What, you were 58 in August like me? Well, you're old enough. Aye. Did you ever watch it when it was first on? There was an original, if you remember, there was an original play. There was an original play about the Boys for the Black Stuff, and then Alan Bleasdale, the Scouser, he was asked to write more of them, so I think he wrote 6 more, which told you about the individual stories of the group of guys. Well, they're actually, I stumbled across it during the week there. I was up late the other night there. I was up to about midnight because I'm not at work this week or next week. And it was on BBC 4. They're repeating it on BBC 4. And so if you want to watch it again, the first 3 episodes are on iPlayer. And if anybody in the UK has never seen Boys for the Black Stuff, you want to watch it. It was made in 1982, right at the height of Maggie Thatcher's Tory government. And it's basically about, guys who are claiming dole money and also working on the side. It's what you'd call black humour. I mean, it's very serious and dramatic acting in it. It's excellent acting, but there's also some good comic stuff in it, and it's well worth a rewatch. I've seen it umpteen times, and I watched the first 2 episodes again on iPlayer yesterday afternoon. So if you get the chance, just look for Boys from the Black Stuff and go and watch it. Meanwhile, Stubb back in level terms, and Bill has gone through against Polka Bouter, 7 racks to 4. And Stubb breaks off, gets a ball in the break, and then, well, he's got a tough shot in the 1, but if he just drops it in and comes round behind the 8 ball, he's not going to be sitting too pretty on the 2. He's trying to get lucky. Let's have a look at this 2 ball. Well, that 2 ball does go. It's very tight, but it goes. Well, I'm surprised Stubb never looked at that. I think the problem, though, is it wasn't really worth taking the 2 on, considering where the cue ball's going to end up. he was never going to be guaranteed of a shot in the three, but he could easily play a safety off the three. And I don't know what LS3 was trying there, because that might have just sold this rack there with that shot. Yeah, Bernard Hill, that was the first. They'd obviously done plays and stuff in the theatre, I would imagine, but that was the first time I'd ever seen Bernard Hill. I always remember the line in that episode, Yosser's story, when he's he's in the point of a nervous breakdown. He's going nuts, and he goes to the chapel and he goes to confession, and he's in the confessional box, and he's sort of breaking down, talking to the priest who's behind the mesh in the confessional box, and he says, "I'm desperate, Father," and the priest says, "Call me Dan," and he says, "I'm desperate, Dan." Oh dear. Now, anybody who doesn't watch, is it the Dandy? I think it's the Dandy. I think that's what I've got a Dandy annual from 1972, and Desperate Dan's in it. And of course, he says that line, "I'm desperate, Dan." I mean, that Dandy annual I've got has been butchered. I was throwing darts at it. That was years and years and years ago. I've butchered that annual, but it's a 1972 Dandy annual, and I've still got it lying in the house somewhere. So it's now 50 years old, that annual, and it is in no way sellable to anybody, because there was a section in it where you could draw the cartoon pictures, and I filled that in, and then when I got a dartboard, I started throwing darts at the Dandy annual. And I've butchered the front of the annual. I wish I hadn't. And it's 50 years old this year. Unbelievable. So, Stubb has got himself back into the lead and looking to stretch away here. If that doesn't tuck behind the 8, I think he's fine. And you know as well that there's going back to that voice from the Black Stuff. What do you call him that used to run the corner shop in Coronation Street? That was back when I was watching it. I don't watch it now, but him that was married to Haley, who was supposed to be a man that changed into a woman. What do you call him? He owned a corner shop for a while. He was in it. He was one of the dole people that was out trying to catch them that were working illegally while they were claiming dole money. That was the first time. Roy Cropper, that's right. That was the first time I saw him in an acting role, and then of course he cropped up in Coronation Street. The other curious thing about that is that working in the DHSS office, you had. Was it Jilly Coleman, the girl behind the desk? And also you had Jean Bott in it, who was her boss. Jean Bott, who played the mother in, what do you call it? Oh, what was the name of that comedy series set in Liverpool? Bread. So you had two actresses that later played in that Bread series in Boy from the Black Stuff. So there's quite a lot of folk in it who went on to bigger and better things, and it just shows you how big an impact that 6 series of dramatic episodes actually worked for quite a few people. And of course, Chrissy, or the actor who played Chrissy, died fairly recently. Well, that's actually another little curiosity as well when I think about it. What was his name again? Oh, the guy that played Chrissy, I can't remember his name. I can see his face. And of course, you'd also, what's her name in it as well? Who played his wife. That was the first dramatic role I'd seen her in as well. What the hell's going on with Stubb tonight? I haven't a clue what he's doing. Well, Larry's gone through against Bankster. Oh, Michael Angelis. I think that was his name. Well, LS3's got ball in hand. Yeah, Michael Angelis and her that was in... what the hell's her name? Come on, Cobra. You should remember who I'm talking about. Julie Walters. That's who. Julie Walters was in it as well. So there's a lot of people who were in that who I'd never seen before, who all went on to better things. But Michael Angelis and Gilly Coleman and Jean Boat all were in a series that was written by her that wrote The Liverbirds. That's the other thing that's curious about it. Yeah, I watched the original as well when it first came on, yeah. I mean, that's 40 years old, that. 40 years have gone by since that was first shown in television. Unbelievable. Well, LS3's took advantage of that from Stubb and got herself back in touch. And a ball in the break, but no real shot in the one now. She should be ducking for cover here. There's a nice gap. There's a nice gap to cut that yellow ball that way and run this way. Well, she's went another way and got lucky. Now I'm trying to think of the name of the writer that wrote The Liverbirds and Bread. And again, I can't go to sleep tonight until I remember her name. Oh dear. And she's dead as well now. Her that wrote that. And she wrote The Liverbirds, she wrote Bread. I wrote a few comedy series. She wrote, did she write Butterflies as well? I think she wrote Butterflies. And I will not be able to sleep tonight until that name comes into my head, unless somebody else can help me find it. Oh, God. And she was from Liverpool. Well, it's going to happen. Well, he's went for the cut again. He's going for the cut and letting the cue ball run and back to his old habits. Carla Lane, that's the name. Now I can sleep. I can sleep soundly. Thank you very much. Yeah, she wrote quite a lot of stuff. But what I was trying to say was Michael Angelis was in one of her comedy series, and I can't remember the comedy series, but he kept rabbits. That's the only thing I remember. Was it The Liverbirds that he was in? Anyway, I'm doing too much reminiscing about old stuff I used to watch 14, 50 years ago. I mean, this is a perfect example of how Stubb relies on his ability to pop balls, and he doesn't rely on his ability to solve problems like a good player would do. You know, he's slamming at a 2-ball to cut it to the side and running the cue ball and just hoping he has a shot. And when he does have a shot, more often than not, he'll take advantage of it. And then he wonders why he can't win the virtual 9-ball World Championships. Or anything else for that matter. And it stared him in the face every time he plays. So Stubb is going to get himself over the line. And Polkabouter has lost his match in the winner's side, and now he's bailed out in the one-loss side. We've had about, 4 forfeits so far in this tournament. So Stubb goes through against LS3 by 7 racks to 5. And I've got to ask Stubb, don't know what he's up to. Anyway, he's probably straight into that room. Yeah, it was the Liverbirds, wasn't it? How come I can hear a clock? I can hear a clock ticking and I'm not in a room. There's something weird going on. I'm not even into a room yet, and I can hear a clock running. I'm glad this is on video, because Steve won't believe this. I mean, I'm sitting in the lobby, and I can hear a countdown clock. There's something funny with Virtual Pool 4 tonight. I wonder whether that's caused a problem with my XSplit broadcaster not detecting it. There's something weird going on here. Let's see if we can hear this clock again. And VP4's froze on you. See if we can get in. Yeah. The stream froze. Well, I'm still streaming live. But there's something not right tonight. I've got a funny feeling there's something going on weird here. Stubbs' cues disappearing before he plays a shot, and then not even in a room, and I'm hearing the countdown clock, and all you guys witnessed that there. And now we've got I don't know what the hell's going on. It's nothing I'm running. It took a while for Spectre Dawn's cue to appear. But that's the first time I've ever heard a shot clock counting while I'm in the lobby and I'm not in a room. Weird stuff going on. Anyway, we've got Stubb against Spectre Dawn, and again, Stubb's cue is not appearing. Let's see whether he's having any lag at his end. I wonder whether he'll actually reply more to the point. Right, so we're right at the start of this match, so while they're warming up, we'll have a quick look at this cribbage bracket, because there's some very interesting matches. The cribbage World Championship draw has been made, and we've got some cracking first round matches in this tournament. We've got Albinario against Stubb as a first round match. We've got MC Clarkey against Slim as a first round match. We've got Sylvia against Bankster. We've got Larry against Acero. That's another cracking first round match. We've got Popman against Tommy. We've got Cobra against Bedhead. LS3 against Machine. And Cheeky Chico against Ice Age. Well, Ice Age didn't appear tonight. I don't know whether he'll show up for that match either. And this guy, Machine, I don't know who that is. And I wonder whether he'll appear. So these guys might get lucky and get a bye. But look at the matches we've got in this tournament for first round. Well worth the watch. Right, so Stubb should be finishing off that first rack. And he said, oh no, not Stubb, Spectre Dawn. Was Stubb at the table while I tabbed out there? I can't remember now, I thought he was. But anyway, if he was, he's messed it up, and Spectre Dawn takes the lead. And, well, that result there with, I think Bankster has won it. That match with Bankster and John, because I can't see the text properly for my little information that's at the bottom of the screen. You guys can't see it, but I can see the little display that tells me I'm streaming. So Spectre Dawn has played the push out. Stubb is actually partially hooked, I think, and he may well put him back in. Well, as far as I can see, Stubb needs a reboot. I think that is one thing that because I don't see anybody else having the same problem Stubb's got. I think Stubbs needs to do a quick reboot in his PC. He says he's getting some lag. Spectre Dawn 1-0 up. And has he gone far enough? Yes, he has. Just to drop down on the bottom side of the 5. He's gone way short here. Way short on this 5 ball. And that never happens with Stubb. So he's either changed his camera settings to where he has to hit a button to then take the go into the shot position. Some guys have their camera set in a position where they review the table first, and then it takes them that long for the cue to appear because of that. But Stubb's not usually like that, and he's not really the type that would mess about with VP4 either. And there, Spectre Dawn made a mistake. Well, it all started where he ended up in that 5 ball in the first place. He was never good in the 5 ball, but I certainly didn't expect him to mess up the 8. And look at this, cue still not appearing. Yeah, there's definitely something going on. And I rebooted my PC earlier on, so I did. Let me do a quick check. See I've just done a quick check. There's nothing running in mine. I thought I was maybe doing a buy the scan or something. But there's nothing happening on my end. Well, Spectre Dawn will be going for the bank up and down onto this 9 ball. And it's going to be a quick rack for Stubb, pot the 2 and the 3-9 combo. Or more likely it could be just a billiard off the 3 onto the 9 to drop the 9 in. Because that means he doesn't have to try and get really cute and get nice on the 3. If he just pots the 2 and stays inside the 3 ball on the right hand side, like that, he can just do a quick little billiard, a tap onto the 3 and drop the 9 in. He doesn't need to try and get the cue ball out to here to play the 3. Well, he's trying to get up onto the 3 and he's got there anyway, so he could have just simplified it. And he could have ended up in the top short side of the 3 there if he hadn't got the pace right. But Stubb, who goes into the lead, the mistake was made by Spectre Dawn. Stubb has a ball, the 5 ball's gone, and he's going to blast this 1 ball, I think. Yeah. Blast the 1 ball, trying to get lucky, and what happens when you start running the cue ball? That's what happens. So straight away, he's gifted Spectre Dawn. I mean, why Stubb gets annoyed at that, I don't know, because if you start running a cue ball around the table with no clue where it's ended up going, there's a strong chance that the cue ball's going to find a hole in the table somewhere and end up one of those pockets. Well, with all these forfeits that we're having in the match, in the tournaments, then the tournament should be moving on fairly briskly, with 1 loss side matches missing because of it. Well, that's gone dead straight, but it's not a problem, so it's just a little roll through. Well, that's... I mean, again, he can just drop the 8 ball in and let the cue ball drop onto the 9 like that. He dropped it dead weight. Now, Spectre Dawn's cue's there all the time. So there's no problem. There's no problem with Spectre Dawn, but Stubb just needs a proper reboot in his PC, I think, first of all. Spectre Dawn, once again, the 5 ball has gone in the break. 2 ball is on, with room to get round behind the 7. He might just go forward and come down. I don't know whether he's got enough room. Let's have a look and see what that looks like from his end. He might want... He's put a bit of left on it to come around behind. He needs to get the spin working though to travel. He hasn't hit it. Again, he's left this way out of line. And it's a 1-shot bank. You've got to nail these, because they're certainly not going anywhere else if you don't get it first time. And he's nailed it. And he's nicely on the 4. Well, this shot cut it in, dropped past the 7 and back up. Oh, he's managed to stun across. I thought he'd have just let it run, but the angle must have been good. just off the rail. Inspector Dawn with a slim lead, but with the break. And again, we've seen a fair few corner balls flying in tonight. That's another one gone. In fact, a couple have gone. Six and the 7 have gone. Nicely on the 1, 2 on. This rack's over. Inspector Dawn's going to have a 2 rack lead in a minute. Needs that little angle though. Well, Stubbs going to have to get down to some hard work and start actually playing, because he's going to be trailing by 2 in a second or 2. So we're into rack number 7. Inspector Dawn with a 4-2 lead, and that rack died slightly. There wasn't really an awful lot of momentum in all of those balls, which I think is one reason it's come up dry. And the 5 and 6 are a problem. And once again, this big delay between Inspector Dawn's break and things actually happening on Stubbs' PC at his end. His VP4's way behind by the look of it. And again, he's had a blast. And this time the cue balls come into play. Yeah, that's how you end up getting yourself in trouble every time. And he hasn't actually hit the 4. He's missed it completely, I think. Well, what a numpty shot that was. And, you know, it's as if he's... I don't know what goes through his head, but when it needs to be hard work and a bit of thought to get your way through the rack, he seems to be a wee bit devoid. He just starts, you know, the first ball to get started was a slam, which ended up going in. But when nothing's controlled, it's always just relying on a roll to have a shot. And you're always going to end up at some point giving up chances to somebody like Inspector Dawn, which you can't afford to do, let alone when you're 4-2 down. You know, you're just asking for trouble. You're going to get picked off each and every time. But like I said previously, when Stubbs going to start doing some hard work? Well, some strange names appearing in this chat tonight. Patrick Swayze, and I don't... On the ball. Who the hell's that? Well, it's looking like Spectre Don's going to run away with this match, but Stubbs got nobody to blame but himself. He's pretty much walked into the trap each time. Stubbs, when Stubb going to have an ounce of common sense and actually go and restart the computer? Oh, Arsonist, good evening. Welcome aboard. Maybe somebody else needs to tell him, but the first thing you want to be doing is get VP4 shut down and reboot the PC. Well, Spectre Dawn on the hill. And Stubb in trouble. Mind you, he's been in trouble a lot earlier than this in the match. And balls are going in for Spectre Dawn. And that 2-ball may well have just rescued Stubb a lifeline here, because the 1 doesn't go. But Spectre Dawn, well, he's a bit short in the fact that he hasn't nailed it to the 2. So he's given Stubb an easy hit in the 1. And Stubb will give this a slam. And again, hope he gets lucky. Now, LS3 has won another final rack decider against Stefan on the 1 loss side. You see how long it's taken the shot clock to appear. And we've still not seen Stubbs' cue. And I thought he was going to fluke the 3 there. And that 1 ran into it. But that's his last shot. If Spectre Dawn, I thought he could squeeze that 1 in, but he had to play the little combo. A delicate little cut, dragging the cue ball to kill the pace off it. Just to eat into the pace in the cue ball. Loads of bottom and a bit of pace, but that's actually to drag the pace off the cue ball, believe it or not, to get the spin to work. Very well controlled shot. Perfect angle on the 4. He can drop into it off the rail, but he's drawn into it just to stun across. And Stubb better warm up for the 1 loss side, because there's some big names in the 1 loss side he'll bump into. But Mr. Bill is not there because he's beaten Larry by 7 racks to 2. So, it's Spectre Dawn. Look at the amount of lag that's going on here. Am I out of sync? Or is Stubb bailed before the game's finished? No, it's finally gone through. And so the 1 loss side is going to get interesting. Larry's now over there. LS3's playing Wink at Me. LS3 and Wink at Me have just started. Bankster's playing DJ Redo at the moment. And on the winner's side, we've got Bill about to play Spectre Dawn, but I think we'll go over and watch this 1 loss side match. And LS3, who's getting the 6 ball, but Wink at Me, who's got the first rack on the board. we'll drop into that other match once we've watched this one. 6 ball in the break. And that 1 ball will cut past the 3. It does go. It can easily cheat the pocket, but Wink at Me wasn't interested. I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised he didn't take that on. Okay, he's got cover, but it's a fairly straightforward jump for LS3. I don't know whether Wink at Me had a look at that. Well, this roll, if it keeps going, is going to be pretty nicely on this 2 ball. And LS3, the bad news for her is that the 6 ball's already gone, so she's going to have to run the table to win this rack. And the crucial shot's about to come next. Once she's potted the 3 and got on the 4, she needs to get herself half decent on this 5 ball. And I think she's pretty damn straight in the 4. I'm going to have to just try and draw it into a line. Well, it's a wee bit short. Well, again, this cue ball, perfect now on the 8. That was well played. I thought she was going to cut it there. And she, again, played the right shot to get good, which is the most important thing of all. So we're all square. LS3 breaks. I didn't see anything or hear anything go down. And what's more, Wink at Me comes to the table with everything there. Nice. Well, that was a fortunate little bounce there. Could have almost scratched. Now, needs to get high enough in the 5. Which you should do anyway with the angle he's got. How's the line on this 5 ball? Pretty good. Now this might run towards the 9 depending whether he's avoided the 9. And that's the worst thing about a dry break, is leaving your opponent a shot when you do. There's obviously nothing you can do about it, but you just see them come to the table and run it out. Nine ball comfortably off the rail, so just a little tuck down for a 2-1 lead. Only a race to 4, remember, so you don't have much time to think in this format in the one-loss side. You've got to be on the ball straight away. And it looks like Wink at Me has come up dry, but look at the mess he's left in this table for poor LS3. She's not even got a shot in the 1. And plays the push out and probably be put back in. Yep. Wink at me, he's just going to try and clip off the one and tuck the cue ball away somewhere if he can. A bit like that. And now LS3's in trouble. And I think the middle pocket's in the way here. That looks good. There's a good effort. So ball in hand for Wink at me. And the 2-ball obviously goes. And you've got to find a way down. No, he's not even trying it. He's trying to tuck it away again. Well, this time though, he's left a big enough gap for LS3 to bail out and jump on this. And she might put Wink at me in trouble herself if she can see the 2-ball, that is. And there's no guarantee she's going to see this 2-ball. And I think the best thing about that shot was she missed the 1. And has left it fairly safe, but might be nailed in a minute. And there's another result through. Bankster goes through against DJ Readout by 4 racks to 2. Well, I think Wink at me might have tried a little billiard off the 1 on and 3 to pot it. So again, LS3 has a chance to put him in trouble, but that cue ball's got to be tight. And it's left a gap. So there's going to be a bit of fun and games messing about with this cluster of balls down here where the 2-ball is. Well, Wink at me's missed the cut in the 1. LS3 can see the 1, and she has to just make sure she can see the 2. There's nothing that she can do with the 2. It's all about just being able to see it and then try and find a way of tucking the cue ball away. And that wasn't the most sensible of shots, because the first thing she had to make sure was that she could see the 2. And okay, she can see an edge of it, but it would have been better just to pot the 1 and see the 2 from up the table. Again, it's not a snooker, but not an awful lot Wink at me can do other than clip the edge of it and just try and not move it very far and run up the table like that. That's pretty good. Okay, there's a 2-5 combo on possibly, but I think it's far better trying to tuck the cue ball away. And LS3's thought better of it, and that's a better shot. That's now got Wink at me in trouble. Well, he's managed to dig it out and hit it. It's a good kick. Oh, has he got lucky as well? Pretty much so. Now, problem is, there isn't a line up and down to hit that too. But what you can do is do a bit of left, a bit of right, and come around the angles to get to the 2 off that corner up there. That'd be one way of getting there. Yeah, she's tried to jump, but she could have tried to get around the corner. Maybe a wee bit of right English to. I mean, that 2-ball was a fairly big target in that corner. But trying a really tough jump when the cue ball's so close to an object ball. I think Bill would have got over that no problem. And Wink at me again. That's LS3 in bother. Well, this time the cut is on in the 2. Now he's going to have to work this cue ball a bit and get really lucky to come across and miss any collisions to be able to get nice on this 3. Well, there's no doubt he can pot the 3, but does he want to pot the 3? Because there's no guarantee he can get good in the 4. Well, he hasn't got into the cue ball enough. Trying to keep it behind this 8 and the 7 and 9 there. But it's left LS3 again with a shot in the 3. And that 4 does go if she can find a way down here and avoid hooking herself on the 8 ball. This cue ball's running nice. And that's an excellent shot. Very well played. And the angle to get into the gap between the 8 and the 7 and get onto the 5. Now what about the 7 ball? Well, the 7 ball goes as well. So there's not a problem. It's just about finding a track out onto the 6. And that won't do any harm either. Cue ball coming down the left side. The only way this will go wrong is hooking herself behind the 8. Now she's left it well away from the 8. In fact, she only needed the 6 ball anyway. I forgot about the handicap again. Excuse me. Oh, cue ball's gone. We're back all square, but wink at me with ball in hand. Now, is he going to just try and tuck this 1 ball away? Tuck it away in there, get that cue ball over to this line and play the 2-9 combo. Doesn't look like that's what he's trying to do though. Well, maybe he should have tried it. Because he's now got himself in trouble. I mean, that was ball in hand. Drop that 1 ball in. He's now fouled the 3 ball and blown his chance there. I think it'd have been far easier just to drop the 1 in and get that cue ball in as good a line as you could on a 2-9 combo, because look at what LS3's got from Wink at Me's mistake. A 2-9 combo. Well, he walked into that one, Wink at Me. He should have been playing that himself. But he tried to run the cue ball into a spot to get on it, and that was asking a bit too much. And meanwhile, LS3 has came up dry. Wink at Me with no shot, so just looking to play the push out. Well, that 1 ball goes. And I think that hit on the 8 ball has done LS3 no harm at all. Keeps the cue ball in play. That could easily have ran down behind the, what was it, the 4 and the 6 ball, but LS3's taken her eye off the 2 and hung it up. Now this could easily hit the knuckle, go around the corner and completely miss the 2. That's the danger with this shot. Because that 2 ball is right in the pocket and it's very easy to just go right around the corner and not hit the 2 at all. Well, Wink at Me decided he couldn't get there and tried to lock a ball up. he hasn't really achieved that at all. But he has asked the question of LS3 if she can finish the match. And now that she's landed nicely on that 3 ball, Wink at Me might be regretting that. Well, it could also be the case that Wink at Me is running out of time in terms of how long he wants to play in this tournament, because earlier on in the week we were playing, what doubles tournament was it? I can't remember. Was it 8 ball? No, it was it 10 ball Scottish doubles we were playing? The 4th of July tournament, and Wink at Me was paired up with Larry. And Wink at Me bailed out and left Larry high and dry. Wink at Me couldn't finish the tournament, and poor Larry was left strung out to dry. Speak of the devil, there's Larry. So I think Wink at Me, I don't think some of the shots he's played there looks as if he wants to go home, and he's hung the 6 again, and LS3 should be making it painless for him, and that's it. So LS3 goes through with the 6 ball money ball by 4 racks to 2. So let's catch up with the other match that's on the winner's side, the one that had started. Mr. Bill, what the hell's happened here? Oh, I thought that said forfeit. I thought Bill had gone. Well, Bill's got 1 rack. I can't see how many Spectre Don's got, but he's got 3. Oh, Bill. Well, that's one way to gift an opportunity to your opponent. Where's the cue ball going? And that's another way of giving it straight back. And the Bills won a watch there. Ball in hand. Scratch match, no handicap. And Bill, well, he can stun this in just to get. That's the sort of line he's got here. Let's have a look. Well, this just has to be come back far enough for the cut. Well, I'm sure Bill wasn't expecting that. That rack changed hands rapidly within a shot. But he's back to within 1. And I think this is dry as well. No joy. Where's that 8 ball going? And the 2 ball is tied up with a 7. Looks like a little, well, possible little billiard onto the 8 if you just want to pot a ball, but he's trying to roll up onto the 4, but he's not really got there. And what's more, let's have a look, is he left an edge of that 1 showing? Just a feather edge of the 1 is showing, and that can allow Bill to duck for cover here if he can get away from it without leaving it over a pocket like that. Well, he could just see enough of it to nudge it, and he actually still got it too thick. Spectre Don trying his best to get the cue ball out of there. Well, he's got enough room certainly to play the jump. What he's actually doing is looking at how this 2 ball's going to hit the 7. That's what he's actually looking at. He's actually looking at jumping and hitting the 2, sending it that way to cut the 7 in. That's what he's trying. Yeah, I mean, it was really, really difficult to start with, but that's what he had in mind. And again, we've now got a problem in the right rail. 4 ball is a little bit awkward to get to, but this angle that Bill's got, all he needs to do is get out somewhere over by the 5 ball, and he should be able to see enough of that 4 to cut it down the rail. And that'll do. 4 ball well off the rail, but he has to make sure he doesn't run into traffic here and try and get the cue ball back across the table when he cuts this 4. And that will do as well. And he can just drop this in dead weight. A little bit of right hand English to check the cue ball, just to straighten it off the rail. But we should be tied up here. Let's have a look at this 8. I don't think there's a problem. Just drop the 7 in. 8's fine into the side. And Stubb has gone through against Bankster, 4 racks to 1. Bills came up dry again. Now, what's Spectre Don trying here? Is he trying to cut that towards the 8 and run for cover? No, he's just trying to leave it in the rail. Well, he might have wanted to try a better shot than that, because I think Bill will play the combo. Is he playing the combo? No, he's playing the bank. And he's got lucky. Gone around the knuckles, went into the opposite pocket. Now can he squeeze through off the rail? Oh, he's hit the knuckle. Oh, that's done him a favour. Although he's a bit high in the 3, so he can consider himself lucky he's still got a shot in the 3. Just trying to drop it in dead weight and stay in play. But look what's happened, he's got himself hooked. Now, not a difficult hit, but he'd have to cue over the 6 ball just to get to the rail. Is he trying to jump the edge of this? Yes, he is. I don't know. I mean, he was Chinese snookered over the 6, but he could have got to the rail and had a good chance of knocking that in, kicking it from the side rail. But he managed to jump over the edge of the 6, which was a surprise enough. And Bill will get well used to his jump cue here. This shouldn't be a problem for him. What angles he got in the 5? Now he can come this side of the 6. Got enough there he can pinch. And pot the 6 round behind the 9, not too hard, and leave the 7 into the side. He might just be going forward. He is going forward. Well, if you're in this tournament regular enough and often enough, you're going to bump into the same players. Especially if you start going deeper into the tournament itself, you'll end up playing them on a regular basis. But Bill's going to take the lead. I can't remember who won last week's Friday Night 9 Ball. Was it Spectre Dawn again? Anybody remember who won it? Because I wasn't doing it last week. We were doing the league testing. Well, that's dry. Dry and no shot for Spectre Dawn. No, Spectre beat Bill in the final. Oh well. So Bill looking for revenge here. Even if he gets revenge in this match, he's still only going to send Spectre Dawn to the one loss side. He could come back to haunt him. Well, this is a great chance to tuck the one ball away, send the cue ball away. Well, how brave is Bill? Because he can bank the one and he can send the cue ball down towards the 4 and the 3 ball here. Well, he's gone all out for the bank. He could have played the bank much softer and tried to get that cue ball behind the 3 and 4. As it is, he's got away with it. Well, I say got away with it. Spectre Dawn, I think, has underhit that. That's a poor one at distance. And it's given Bill a free go here to open up the gap. 2 ball goes past the 5. And he's left himself more angle than he would really like on this 2. So now he's going to have to go to the rail and come back up. And that's perfect. Nice little angle. Well, he's gone a wee bit more, but it's better having a wee bit more than not enough. But all of the ball sitting there. No excuse. And should be into a 2-rack lead here. What match is this in this bracket? Yeah, it's not the hot seat match. It's only round 4. Well, this is the one. He's not really got enough angle in this 5. He's just trying to drop it through. He would have liked to have stunned across for the 6, but it's now a slightly tighter squeeze than he would like on the 6 ball. But there's still loads of room to get past that 7. And now this is fairly simple. Drop the 7, roll the 8 up the table, kill the cue ball, roll the 9, and you're in the lead by 2 racks. Just don't catch the middle pocket. So again, Spectre Dawn under a bit of pressure. And I think Bill is looking dry. And the good thing for Bill's case is he's left Spectre Dawn nothing. Can't see the one hiding there behind the 3 ball. Well, he's gone around to look at something. I don't know what he's looking at. I can just catch an edge of the 1. But now he's deciding to push. Oh, I think he was double checking it if he played the cue ball there, whether he'd leave Bill a shot. And in actual fact, he has left Bill a shot. That's a strange one. This cue ball's going to track towards this corner pocket, though, if Bill just wants to try rolling the one in and dropping through the two. Well, he's just caught the 7. Oh, well, there's a result. That's got Spectre Dawn in a whole heap of trouble. And LS3 battles on the one lost side. She's taken Larry out by 4 racks to 1. Well, that was going the right line. And that middle pocket just got in the way. So now Bill with ball in hand, what does he do? I mean, he can't pot the one. So he's just going to try and duck into the gap between that 7 and 2 and leave Spectre Dawn in a bigger heap of trouble. Because again, he can't get it from the long rail. Well, he's looking at the gap. I think he was contemplating trying to get into the gap with spin, but the chances are he would spin into the 4. Put right spin on it, hit the rail and tuck into the one. He's trying to find that line, and that's a better effort. That was well done. Managed to get the top side of the middle pocket this time, and then get the hit. And I think what's more, he's not left a great deal on for Bill, and that's not going to get to a rail. And all of a sudden, Spectre Dawn's efforts have given him a reward. He's got ball in hand, and the 2 ball cleanly goes now into either pocket. Now, has Bill just shot himself in the foot there? Well, that little kiss in the 6 hasn't done any harm. Well, maybe it has done. He's got a bit more angle on this 3, way more than he'd ever have liked. Again, he's dragging off the pace. You know, that I mean, he's at least still giving himself a sight in the 4. You've got to play the shot like a draw shot with enough pace so that the actual draw will kill the pace, if you see what I mean. It's a strange shot to describe, but we've seen a couple of them from Spectre Dawn. He plays it pretty well. And all he's looking for is a sight in the 5. Now, again, he doesn't want to be playing this 6 ball where he's going to run into the 7. And he's trying to get down far enough so that he can avoid that. Now, this time I think he's got to go up and down. He's got loads of room. He should be missing the 7. No, he's trying to hold it. Again, he's trying to hold it. But to me, the common sense shot was to run up and down. He's left himself in severe bedhead territory with this one. But he's got it. He's nailed it. What a shot. And he's left himself pretty nice on the 8. There's not many places that Spectre Dawn won't dig himself out a shot one way or another. And then Bill's 2-rack lead is now down to 1. Well, I think there's no joy there for Spectre Dawn either. Another dry one. Bill on the 1 ball. And now he's got to get himself out. just to be able to see this too. And either if he landed good in the two, play the combo, but more likely play the billiard. Or he could end up doing that, running into the two and getting a nice bounce and a nice roll. And where's the problem? Well, Bill knows he has to put this away just to temper the comeback or kill the comeback effort of Spectre Dawn. He doesn't want to be making a mistake here and gifting it to Spectre Dawn. He wants to nail it home. Well, to me, this is fairly straightforward if you can keep the cue ball nicely in the open. And now he's left himself way too much on this 5 ball than he would like. I mean, the cut's not a problem, it's where the cue ball's ending up. And he's overcut it by a country mile. And like I say, the unforced error has crept in, not getting himself good on the 5. And it looks as if he is going to gift this rack to Spectre Dawn. And it's looking very likely that Bill's 2-rack lead has dwindled to zilch, 0. Although this is another little thin one. Doesn't want to run into the 7. And he's avoided it. And that will do nice. It's not broken, it's Stubb that's the bloody problem. Has Stubb gone and rebooted? There's been a problem with Stubb all night. Is the room not coming up? Is the room locked or something? Because if it's his cue's not appearing, he's not done a reboot and he won't listen. You need to tell him to go and do a reboot, kill his game and go and restart the damn thing. There's been problems in Stubb's rooms that he's been in all night. Yeah, his queue hasn't appeared because he's downloading something, or he's got crap running, or he's got a virus scan going, and that's eating up a lot of resources. And unless he reboots his PC to try and clear it out, then you'll be stuck like that. He's the problem. The room isn't the problem. It's him that's the problem. He needs a complete restart. Take him 3 minutes to do it. Just get it restarted and then see how it goes. And as for TDs, I think you'll have a hard job trying to find one. You'll need to message Steve. But all Steve can do is tell him to go and do a reboot. Just tell him to do the same thing. That's where the problem lies. I mean, he's the only person we've had this issue with tonight. It's been happening in all of that match that we've seen him in. The queue's taking ages to appear. His PC's probably been running for a week and it hasn't had a restart. It just needs a freshen up. But anyway, back to matters in hand. Spectre Dawn has got it back to all square. And if he can pot this 3 and find his way onto the 4, he'll be looking reasonably good. And now this pot in the 4, he has to get up the top side of the table. He has to get into this zone here, into that zone, so he can cut that 5. Well, again, with this shot here, he's checking the cue ball just to drop it and keep the cue ball from running into the 6. Well, this looks, again, a cut in the 6 and go across the table twice. Get the cue ball back over to where it is right now, and then play the cut in the 7. Well, that will do it. Yeah, as I say, the only solution a TD can say is just to tell Stubb and go and restart his PC. That's the only way to resolve it. And if he doesn't do that, then it's up to the TD as to whether we'll do it or we'll boot you. One of the two, to see if it helps the situation. It won't do any harm, but he's that dumb and stupid and ignorant, he won't do it. So Spectre Dawn with the break in rack number 12 with a 6 racks to 5 lead. It's just taking a little break and I'll have a quick drink. A quick look, hang on a minute. Where are we? Stubb is so bloody stupid. I mean, I don't understand him. Why won't he just listen and do what he's told? If I could type, it would help as well. Anyway, he can't say he wasn't advised to do something to resolve it. Whether he does it's a different story. Anyway, Spectre Dawn is back, and I think he's got a ball. Aye, the 4 ball's gone, but he's got no shot. I wonder, LS3, you still there? Have you told him to go and restart the damn computer? Well, I've tried to get a hold of Steve on Facebook just to get him to try and tell him to do as he's told. But nothing else I can do. Well, the end result was well deserved. Again, banging at the ball for the bank, letting the cue ball run loose. And LS3 squares it up. LS3 getting the 7 ball. I think that's dry as well. Again, a whole stack of dry breaks. I haven't looked to see how long his cue's taking to appear. I think, let's see what happens. Yeah, he's stopped. I'll tell you, he's probably had a virus scan running. That's if he's got antivirus software. Or he's been downloading a stack of stuff while he's been in this tournament. Because his cue's now fine. So he's obviously stopped that. Yep. Cue's appearing perfectly now. What a numpty. It's no that. It's the fact that that most of his bandwidth's running on something that's working in the background, either downloading a big file or the virus scanner's running. There's going to be nothing else that's doing it. Well, this game's a bit, this game's a bit particular when it comes to it because it's how the signal goes to the server and what's happening there. Because the information's taking longer to get to Stub. He's still watching a shot while we've already seen it. That's what's been happening. The thing is, if your computer's not got enough RAM, it's working overtime the more processes you've got running. And if one of them is a process that's eating up bandwidth because you're downloading a stack of files, then it stands to reason everything's going to slow up. It takes longer for the information to get through, and what's been sent from LS3 or anybody else's end. You saw how bad it was at the beginning. It's taken far too long for Stubbs' cue to appear every time it was his shot, but now it's fine, and it's only fine because he stopped doing what he was doing. He just won't tell you that. So we're all square, 2 racks all, and it's only a race to 4, and Stubbs away in a wild goose chase here. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Well, LS3 now is going to get herself out onto the 3. Again, she didn't need to try and move the 3, she just had to get the cue ball out onto the 3. It would have been better if she'd get the cue ball to here, cut the 3 and then try to run into the 4 and 7. I don't know why she tried to move the 3 in that particular way. But now she's trying to tuck away, and that will do. And that's got Stubb in a stack of trouble. He's nailed to the 9. But whatever happens from this, LS3's got to be able to make something to her advantage. And I think that's a pretty legal hit. That was well done. LS3 is she trying the bank and running forward into the 4, 7 and 9. I don't know that that's the line to be doing it. No, I don't know what she's doing. Well, she's gone all out, got the pot. But again, I mean, this 4 will cut. You're running right into the 7. The chances are the cue ball's going to stay there, and you won't have a shot in the 5. She may well stub this and thump it and hope to get a good roll. But the cue ball's had too much top on it. It's gone in, and the 4 actually ended up going in, and that's gifted it to Stubb. Oh, here we go again. We're back to where we are. Now the cue's not appearing. Oh dear. Here we go, we're heading downhill fast. Well, if LS3 is going to survive, she's going to have to do it the hard way and win these last 2 racks. He's finally disconnected and then immediately arrived back in the room. So his connection's threatening to break down. So Stubb needs one more. LS3 needs the both of them. Stubb comes up dry. One ball is safe. LS3 looking to push. Well, she'll be put back in, I would think. I don't think Stubb will play that, and he won't. And there's enough of the one showing, I think, here. Yeah. So the cue ball needs to just miss the 8 on the way back up. Well, it might be all over for LS3. But I don't think I can sit watch it. I mean, if Stubb gets to this final, I don't think I could suffer watching this. But again, it seems to recover. Much earlier on in the tournament when he was playing, it was every time he was playing a shot, the cue would disappear for, you know, more than too long. Well, he's missed a 5, and LS3 can take this all the way. Just a 6 into the side, and leave yourself a shot in a 7 to go all the way. Well, what is it? What is it about reboot your PC that Stubb doesn't understand? I mean, how ignorant and stupid do you have to be to not, you know, at the end of a match, do a quick restart on the PC and see how things run after it? Well, LS3 has had balls in the break. Off and running. Had a quick look at the 3-5 combo. That kiss on the 6. Well, again, it's not affected it a great deal. It could have done with a better line, but I mean, the line onto the 5 is pretty damn good. I would expect her to get this. Oh, that'll do, because that'll annoy Stubb even more. Well, again, it's awkward. It's a dodgy cut. It's one of them. And you've got to just keep your eye on the cue ball. You know, don't forget the fact that you've still got to pot the 3, but you've just got to watch this cue ball. Watch the cue ball. Now that would have been a dun, dun, dun. Commentator's eye, and it's all over. I mean, LS3 could have played that cut with a bit of side, to check the cue ball. It would have made the cut even more difficult, but that's what she had to do because you know that cue ball's tracking to the side pocket. And in the end, that cost her. So Stubb goes through. And Stubb now moving well. I wonder, I mean, Bill's on it. Is Bill not in a laptop? So Bill's connection's a wee bit dodgy now and again as well. But he very often sometimes gets kicked out now and again. This should be fun in games with this pair. I'm getting in quick. Yeah, it was a tough enough cut, and it had to be played with a wee bit of English. Maybe a wee. In fact, the cut could have been played with a bit of right English just to try and square the cue ball a bit and stop it tracking that line. Now you know that that's going to happen, but you make the shot much more difficult when you start putting English on the cue ball. And then you sometimes do what you have to do and just take the risk and hope you get away with it. And that time LS3 didn't. It wasn't an easy shot. And meanwhile, we're into rack number 1. Stubb won the lag by the look of it. Broke off dry. Bill came to the table, played the little combo. And just happened to kick. And he's going to be in trouble himself in a sec. Well, Bill again thinks he can jump over this. And he did. And I don't know how he does it. He's not got away with it though. And again, Stubbs' cues appearing. Well, I could have done with coming a wee bit higher on the 4 ball. The cue ball's running a bit loose here, you see, like that. And now Stubbs got work to do, because obviously the 6 ball's blocked by the 8 into the bottom right-hand corner pocket. And he's not only got to make the cut in the 5, he's trying to draw off it. And he's got a hold of the cue ball perfectly. That was a good shot. Avoided the scratch in the side and dropped perfectly on this 6 ball. And once again, this is a scratch match. No money ball handicap in this match. Again, a bit of a delay there. I'm going to have to look at this XSplit broadcaster tomorrow because I can't fathom out. I mean, all the stuff that you see in the screen in XSplit broadcaster, the bottom thirds, the titles, anything that's on the screen, they're all in there as individual elements, as was VP4. The game is in there as auto-detect, and yet it wasn't showing up on either of the screens, so I don't know what the hell's went amiss there. That's totally weird. But as long as we get XSplit Gamecaster in reserve, I can always fall back in it. It's usually fairly reliable. Now, what ball's that? Is that the 8 and 9 together up there? I thought that was the 4, it's the 8 and 9. Well, the sensible thing to do would be just come back and leave the cut in the 5. Gives you plenty of room to come around and out onto this 6. But again, he's blocked. Or I was going to say blocked. Well, it's a bit of a squeeze if he landed this side of the 6. Tomorrow at 6:30, I'll be there then for that. It'll be interesting to see how those two guys handle it. Well, this is coming around nice as long as he doesn't scratch. And he might be corner hooked here. No, he's okay. Well, I think he's got too much angle on this. In fact, he's stuck in the corner as well, so he would have to jack right up. He's trying to cut this in and stun down the line. That is a really difficult shot to control. But that he had the right idea, trying to jack up, stun it in, and run down to about here. But he's overhit it. But how's this 8 and 9 set up? Well, he needs to cut it from the right side to try and get the 9 to go into the pocket. Again, it was nothing easy. Now Stubb can go out for one of his smash and grab, boom, bang, a bang, thing cuts in the 8 and hope he stays in the table. Which he has done. So Stubb now has Bill in trouble. 2-0 in front and only a race to 4. And that looks a dry one again. I think it is. Aye, nothing doing. No, I mean, the shot is on in the 1 ball, but it's everything's going entirely the wrong direction from the 2. Well, he just wants to see the 2. Well, he can see an edge of it. And he's going to try and, I think, jump the 9. I think he's looking at that option. And now this is where you get lucky if the cue ball stays in the table off this shot. I don't think he fancies it. Well, he's lining it up. Is he trying to jump over the 4 to get to it? Well, for Bill, who's a first-class jumper, that's misjudged a fair bit there. He hasn't even hit the 2. So this is making life easy for Stubb. Ball in hand. Stun it and spin it. Now he's got himself hampered slightly. No problem with the 4 ball going past the 9. But that's how difficult the shot becomes when you're queuing down over a ball. It makes it much more difficult to judge. You can easily put a bit of spin in the cue ball if you haven't made sure you haven't got that cue centred. So Bill's lifeline starts right now. Again, he could have done with just hitting that a wee bit heavier to get the cue ball further up the table for comfort's sake. It just means he's having to run the cue ball a bit more, but he's again checked it with left English to come that way. So Bill off the mark, and he's got a couple of balls in the break, I think. I think one went into either corner pocket. Now, does that one squeeze past? Well, it was very tight to get past the 5. And Bill hasn't got it tight enough to the 5 to stop Stubb kicking off the shot, the long rail. An easy enough hit, and suddenly the cues disappeared again. And now Stubbs disconnected again. And Stubbs the only one with the problems tonight. And he just will not listen. Another tricky little cut for Bill. I'm sure he can see enough of this. You know, this is... Well, I think he's played that very well. And he's nicely on the 2. He's got to be sure where he's going here. He's got to find that narrow little gap. Oh, he's trying to get inside. That was maybe not the move. Bill should have probably played for the gap. And he's trying to bail out of the jump stick again. And once again, though, when you're so close, difficult to keep the cue ball on the table. But I think Bill was asking for trouble trying to hold it in the inside line there. He'd have been better trying to get out into the gap. Although the gap wasn't a great deal bigger, I think his odds were better getting out into the table. And now he's at the point of no return. So Stubb, one away. One away from the final with Spectre Dawn. Now, is that not going to be a rematch? Let's have a look. Yes, it is, because Spectre Dawn put him to the one-loss side. So Stubb looking for revenge. But likewise, Stubb has came up dry again. And then Bill has got nothing. He can spin that off the rail easy enough. And Stubbs got away with it. He's got away with it big time. And I don't know whether Bill can get through that gap. He might have to go before the 7 ball and spin this with a bit of right. I think he's got a wee bit of right on it. Well, that was a good hit. Unfortunately, he's left it on. Well, it all looks too easy now. roll the 7 in, roll up for the 8, and then drop the 9 in for the match. So it's going to be Stub in the revenge match against Spectre Dawn in tonight's final. And we are still a couple of minutes short of the 3 hours for the tournament, which has been curtailed slightly because of the fact we had those forfeits early on. So Stub goes through by 4 racks to 1. And confirmation of that once this updates. Bloody thing jumping all over the shop. Well, it's about to update anyway. So it'll be a final race to 9 between Spectre Dawn, the all too often winner of this tournament each week, against Stub. I've never seen that name before. Who the hell's Coldest Pillow when they're at home? That's a new name to me, that one. Well, according to that, they've got a Welsh flag. Oh, well, the other disappeared. Well, we'll be underway in a minute or two once Spectre Dawn gets his act together, gets in. That's going to scratch. Well, we got lucky that time. Here we go with the lag. And Spectre Dawn was at the bottom of the screen. Stub looks to have won it. Again, scratch match, no handicap. And this time, balls in the break. But no shot in the 1. And Stub just having a blast. Again, hoping to get lucky. Well, the 1 does go. Perfect. Loads of room to work with. And again, Stubbs shot himself in the foot straight away in this first rack, having a blast. The old hit and hope. And he's still prepared to do stuff like that against Spectre Dawn. He didn't learn from his first match, which he lost 7 racks to 2. And Spectre Dawn, no doubt, will be quite happy that he keeps on doing it. Because he can just feast off what's left when Stubbs done with his banging. First blood to Spectre Dawn. Something went. And he can cut the 1 and he can drop through the gap between the 9 and the 5 and out for the 2. No, maybe it couldn't then. Maybe I should have went round. I thought he could cut that 1. But Spectre Dawn has played a poor safety, if that was what he tried. I mean, maybe he missed the 1. Maybe he didn't pay enough attention to it. We'll never know, but either or, if it was a safety, it was poorly executed. Although Stubbs get his work cut out to get good in the 2. Well, nothing much he's got here. Trying to cut it into the side. Is he going to blast it? Yes, he is. And the cue ball inevitably finds the pocket before the 2 ball ever get near it. And once again, he's going to have to sit and suffer the punishment for his stupidity. I mean, you can easily cut that without having to hit that as hard as that. Easily. And when you're in the habit of doing the same thing over and over, and you have done and got away with it more often than not, you'll never learn. So I think we can count that as 2 silly things Stubbs done, and it's cost him both racks. But anyway, he'll keep doing it the way he wants to do it. And inevitably against guys like Spectre Dawn, he'll pay the price each time. 2-0. Again, it looks dry. Well, this time though, Stubb has a shot in the 1, but he has to get down on the shorter side and the left side of that too. He has to get it from this side because the 8 ball's blocking it to that side. Well, again, it's a bedheadish type cut, but the cue ball's heading the right direction for a good sight in 3. So he shouldn't have any issues here as long as he gets the 2 in the hole. And he's got a decent enough angle in the 3 to draw up for the 4. Well, rather than draw it so much, it's been more a stun draw shot that could have went funny against that 7 ball. But Stubbs going to get off the mark. Well, the good thing is my body clock is still the same whether I'm at work or not. I mean, I've had all of this week off and it's been exactly the same as if I was working, because it gets, even in the afternoons, I'm still having a nap. I was watching the match between Djokovic and Campbell. What the hell's his name? Norrie. And I was sitting watching it, and I think I had a coffee and a biscuit or something. Finished that, and Norrie had won the first set, and then when I woke back up, he'd lost the second set. So I missed a complete set of tennis with my little nap. But it went as I thought it would go. I said that Norrie would do well to win a set, and he had a good start because Djokovic hadn't found his feet at that time. But the problem for Norrie all the way through the match was he couldn't get enough first serves in. And when you can't do that at that level, you're going to be struggling because you're going to be in the back foot, having to play slower second serves, and somebody like Djokovic is going to be all over you like a rash, which is pretty much how it ended up. But he's done well. I mean, he's got himself into the top 10 in the world, the Brit, and he's got £500,000 in his pocket that he didn't have last week. And that's what he gets for being a losing semi-finalist, £500,000. And he can certainly still improve. But if he got more of the first serves in today, it could have been a slightly different outcome. So Spectre Dawn's going to quell the Stubb comeback. I think the latest I've been to bed this week is just after midnight. That's what I was saying. I was watching that Boys from the Black stuff earlier on in the week, and that's the latest I've gone to bed. Because I'm usually in bed about 3 hours before that, but the body clock just will not shut down. I'm still waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, Spectre Dawn back to this 2-rack lead. This time he's had the 8 ball in the break. Can he pot the 1? Yes, he can. And he's got a problem to deal with. And when he pots the 2 and gets on the 3, he's going to have to either play this 3 ball, so he's trying to leave this as straight as he can for a 4-5 combo, or try and be really accurate and get below the 4 ball. Now he's going to have to weigh that up. It looks as if he's tried to overdo it and get below the 4, which he ended up doing, but it's cost him the pot and the 3. And again, well, Stubb is trying to bank this, I think. And he's nailed it, but where's the cue ball ended up? Well, that's probably better than you could expect. He's still got a shot. He's stuck to the rail, but it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, he can still come across the table or try and drop it in as dead weight as he can and hold it, and that was easy enough. So Stubb isn't letting Spectre Dawn get away. He's going to be back to within 1. Oh, it's definitely old age, no doubt about that. I mean, I've been having to have, if I don't have an afternoon nap after I've had something to eat or drink when I get home, my brain won't let me do anything. You know, you just have to sit down, and even if I don't want to take a nap, I'm taking one anyway because I eventually drop off. I can't keep my eyes open, and you'll get to that age where it will happen. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, most of the time, the latest I get to bed at night is about 10 o'clock. And when you think about it, I'm back up at 4 a.m. every morning. I've been trying to get to bed earlier recently, which is actually quite good. Because then I'm finding that going to bed at 9:30, I'm waking up about midnight and having to go to the bathroom. Good evening to Tommy. Well, you've arrived just in time for the remainder of Virtual Pool 4 Friday Night 9 Ball. And this is a revenge match between Stubb and Spectre Dawn. Spectre Dawn put Stubb to the one loss side, having beat him earlier on in the tournament 7 racks to 2. And Stubb has a dodgy connection issues tonight, although it seems to be okay at the moment. There's some cracking matches in that cribbage tourney, Tommy. Some great matches in the first round. So Stubb looking odds-on favourite here to square the match. The only thing is he's just worried about where he's going with the cue ball here to get on this 7, because the middle pocket's in the way a bit, and he's used the stun and pace to get across. That was a good shot. Because probably the natural instinct would be to cut that and try and draw down. But the middle pocket was in the way. Oh, are you not in that tournament, Tommy? I thought you'd signed up. So we're back to 3 racks all. Oh, you are in the tournament. Oh, I thought I saw your name in. Another bank here for Stubb. Now you've got me totally confused. I'm reading the chat. Yeah, I saw. Unfortunately, I don't have to play at all. Travelling to new home at the moment, right? Then, but I'll be in to play my matches. No time, I mean. I don't know what you're talking about. You need to translate that German into English for me, Tommy. I don't know what you're talking about now. I don't get the no time, I mean. Right, you mean you're busy to hang around VP4? Maybe that's what you're meaning. You've got to remember, I'm sitting here half asleep. Only half my brain's working at most of the times. And I'm afraid at 10:15 at night, I am almost gone. I am badly lacking in some caffeine to trigger the old brain cells to kick in a wee bit. Well, Stubb looking at taking the lead on the path to revenge. So now he's got the lead. Can he defend it? Now, did anything go there? Well, the 6 ball's definitely going. In fact, nothing did go until that 6 ball went in. And now again he's having a bang. You see, this is where This is where it looks good from Stubb, but he's banging balls, got no idea whether he's going to have a shot. And in the process, he's now tied the 5 and 9 up, to the extent that it's pretty much a combo. In fact, that's dead set, absolutely plumb, unmissable as a combo. A blind man with a wooden leg and a trackball mouse and one arm could pot that. And that's no disrespect to Stubb, I'm not meaning that. But all he needs to do is get in the bottom half of the table here again where we are, and he's got the 5-9 combo. Or if he could do something, I thought he was going to run into it there and end up in the mire, but he's fine. I mean, this has got to go. Let's have a look. Well, there's a wee gap, but I mean, as long as you get the line of the top for the 5, the 9 simply has to go in. It can't go anywhere else. So now, it's Spectre Dawn with what to do. He's trailing by 2. And he's waiting on Stubb coming up dry like he has done now. But this time, Stubbs left him not a sniff. Completely hooked in the 1 ball. Now, you know that over the piece, you know, the more often you bang at balls, knowing that you can pot balls, and just relying on a sight on the next ball, you know that has to, that can't be the right way to go about things. And Stubb won't change. I think that was something he got away with an awful lot more in VP3 than he ever will do in VP4. But, you know, that has never sunk in with Stubb. You know, he used to be exactly the same in VP3, and you could do crazier things with the cue ball in VP3, remember. The physics were nothing like this. And he got away with a shed load more of crazy stuff in it than he ever will do in VP4. But he's just a creature of habit. He just will never change. Whereas Spectre Dawn has got a bit more common sense about him and will do stuff like that. And now he's going to have another bang. And again, he's got away with it. Well, now Spectre Dawn's got a target. Cue ball still spinning at 100 miles an hour. Spectre Dawn's got a target behind that 3 and 7. If he can just get the touch right on this 1 ball. And also, he doesn't want to run into the 2. I mean, he could do that, but I think the risk with that shot is actually scratching. What's he doing? He looks as if he's going all out for the bank. Yeah, he's decided he's going for it. It was probably easier to play the bank than it ever was to try and get in behind that 3 and 7. Because the 3's available. So, Spectre Dawn knows one way to play, that's all out attack. Now, I think the concern here is the hit that he's going to get in the 7. This could double kiss. Yeah, he spun off it. That was clever. He caught the edge of the 7, but made sure he was spinning forward off it, so he was staying away from any trouble. So a quick reminder to everybody, the draw was made earlier tonight at 7 PM for the Cribbage Virtual World Championships. We've got some brilliant matches in the first round, and as was mentioned earlier in the chat, I think Slim mentioned it, we've got a match tomorrow night, I think, between Bankster and Sylvia in the cribbage tournament. And I'm going to be interested to see how these guys work the tactics in cribbage, because believe it or not, there are tactics in cribbage, especially when it comes to not being able to pot the partner ball. The question is what you do and whether many of these guys are going to be switched on and how to work the tactics in cribbage. There's guys going into this tournament think, well, if I pot the 7 ball, I just need to see the 8. It's not quite as simple as that. It's what happens when you can't see the 8 ball and what you do that's going to affect your survival chances in the rack. And you need to be very quickly becoming aware of the strategy side of cribbage. Now, the better players will work that out soon enough, whereas the others will fall by the wayside by simply trying to get to the ball every time, when there's a more strategic way of going about things in cribbage. Now, Spectre Dawn, I think, is having a little break. I would normally have a little musical interlude in this situation, but I can't because I'm only using Gamecaster because of my technical problems earlier on, which are unexplainable. But I'll work on it tomorrow and see if we can get that sorted out. So, Spectre Dawn back to within 1 with the break in this race to 9. In fact, while they're hanging about, let's just go and see if we can have a look at this bracket. Where is it? Blah 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 blah. 7. There we go. So the cribbage tourney, we've got great first round matches. Albinario against Stubb, MC Clarkey against Slim, Sylvia set up against Bankster tomorrow at 6:30 British Summer Time. We've got Larry against Acero from Japan. That'll be interesting because of the huge time zone difference between them two. We've got Popman and Tommy. We've got Cobra and Bedhead, and LS3 and Machine and Cheeky Chico. I mean, all that top bunch of matches, there's not one of them you want to miss. They're all going to be well worth watching. Where the hell's the bracket now for the Friday Night 9 ball gone? Anyway, we've got it. And we're underway in rack number 10. Inspector Dawn has potted a 1 ball in the break. Shot in a 2. What about that 3 ball? 3 ball goes clean. Now he needs to stun this in so that he's missing and coming around the corner and out. Well, he's not even doing that. He's put the big draw on it to avoid running the cue ball. 5 ball must pass the 6. Yes, it does. Yeah, I'll be surprised if those bottom 2 matches go ahead. That guy with the name Machine, I've never seen him before. And Ice Age didn't turn up for tonight's Friday Night 9 ball that he'd signed up for. So, but every other match will be worth watching. And Spectre Dawn has very quickly resolved the situation, trailing by 2, and he's now back all square. Don't start that again, Slim. Don't start that rumour. Well, 3 ball into the side. And stone dead on this one ball. What does he do here with this? Straight up and down the table on the one. Now he's gone all out for the pot. Yeah. Weighed up the situation, had a look around, lined it up, straight into the corner. Didn't even touch the sides. Now, is he going to take a big risk here and try and get lucky? Is he going to try a stub shot, bang into this 9 and 5 and hope he's still on the 4? Or is he going to get on the 4 and then stun into the 9 and 5? Which might be the more logical way to go about things. Yeah, that's the plan. He's looking for the hit. So he can spin the cue ball with a bit of left, get a nudge. And all he's got is a little feather brush in the 5. Now he might just squat behind us off the left edge here. This is a delicate feather-like touch it needs. A bit like that. Stubb gets a hit. Now how's his luck? Not too good. Spectre Dawn can cut the 5. And he'd be unlucky to end up hooking himself behind the 9. I think he can easily cut that and come around. Even if he run into the 9, he's bound to be on the 6. No, he's fine. So it's going to be 3 in a row for Spectre Dawn. Just when he's under threat from Stubb, Spectre Dawn bounces back. And goes into the lead. Or at least he will do once he stuns this 8 ball in or spins off it, one of the two, whichever he prefers. Now it's a question of whether he can get a ball and a shot and try and take this match away from Stubb. Well, he's got the first part of it right. He's potted a ball and he's got a shot in the 1. And if he just drops again through a gap here, he'll be on the 2. Even if he runs into the 8 ball, he should be fine. And that will do. Now, 3 ball, let's have a look. Goes past the 8 ball, no problem. So just to round it out. Needs to go out further though. He'll still... Well, he'll either drop this in soft or go across the table twice, whichever he thinks is best for himself. I don't think he'll want to try and do anything more elaborate than either of those 2 options. Yep, he's just staying in the open side of the 4. 5 ball goes into the side pocket, I believe. And well, there's the old cliche. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Spectre Dawn's now got the game face on, if he didn't have it on already. And it's the one surefire way that you can make sure that your opponent's getting nothing, because you're not giving them anything. You're not giving them encouragement by making unforced errors, and you're going for the throw it. So now it's 4 in a row from 5-3 down. It's a 2-rack lead now for Spectre Dawn. And again, couple of balls in the break. The 9 ball, I think, is one of them. It gets respotted. And this time, though, he's not got a shot in the 1. But he can make sure that he's got decent enough cover if he can. And he has done, and that is nasty. An easy enough hit for Stubb, but it's going to be another banging hope. And once again, he should be stuck on this 8 ball. Nailed to it. And that is what I call nailed. Pretty much. He can just get the angle though. I don't think he could get it any better. And this time Stubbs got lucky with the bang. He's potted the 1. But he's in even more trouble on the 2. And the 5's fluked as well now. Well, he didn't get a legal hit, so he's given ball in hand. It's going to be the 2 ball. A gentle 3-6 combo, I would think. Well, I don't think he could land that cue ball any better than what he's just done there to play this combo. That's perfect. I mean, this, again, is pretty much unmissable. And it's going to be another rack in the board. And this will be the one that will take Spectre Dawn 1 away from another Friday night 9 ball with 9 ball title. He's slightly the wrong side of this 8 ball, but he's fine. Not a problem. He's got the pace nailed down. And again, Spectre Dawn gets so much table time, it's unbelievable. I've been off all this week, and I don't think there's been a day where Spectre Dawn's not been in morning, noon and pretty much night playing either 9 ball or 10 ball. And you're going to have that table speed nailed down and have the touch where you get so much table time. And Stubb doesn't, in his defence. He does not, but again, he's not generally going about it the right way a lot of the time, Stubb. And he's been pretty much frozen out for the second half of this match. Since Spectre Dawn was trailing 5-3. He's now won the 5 in a row and he's 1 away. Well, obviously he can cut the 1. And let's look at this 3-9. Well, that 3-9 is dead set. So this match is over. As long as he can get himself a clean hit in the 2 where he's going back up the table. Is he trying to roll this dead weight and just leave a cut on it? Yes, he is. He can hold it. It's got to go in. He can skid it off the 9, can he not? So he's right on the 9 with that 3 ball. It looked as if it was going to go. Yes, it is. So Spectre Dawn, you can't ask for much better than that. You're trailing by 5-3. Puts the game face on. And it was pretty much error-free for 6 racks in a row. And Spectre Dawn has beaten Stubb twice tonight. 7-2 in the first match to send him to the 1-loss side. And then 9-5 to win another Friday night 9 ball. So that is it, guys. Apologies for the technical problems. I haven't a clue what it is. I'll work it out though. So thank you for joining us. Thanks for watching. And remember, we've got a match on tomorrow at 6:30 British Summer Time, which is like 1:30 Eastern Time. And I think that's 10:30 Pacific, and that's a match between Sylvia and Baxter. And I hope you can be there for that. If not, it will be on YouTube. It will be archived on YouTube. It will also be on Twitch for about 14 days. And if you can, you'll be more than welcome if you want to join us at some point during the tour. Some cracking matches to see. So until then, take care, stay safe, and I'll bid you good night.